The Edge at 11 starts now.
A news alert on Detroit's west side where a child has died after being hit by an ice cream truck. Police say this happened in the area of Longacre and Diversey Streets. The little boy was playing in the street when he was hit.
It's a very tragic scene. Our homicides fatal squad is investigating the case right now. We made sure that we brought plenty of resources, including our chaplain squad, to make sure they're here to support the officers as well as the family. We're just here to pray for their family right now.
The ice cream truck's driver stayed at the scene and was taken into custody.
Also tonight, tempers flared at a L'Anse Creuse school board meeting as parents push for answers.
Now, they want to know why a high school student was able to attend class while he was under investigation for murder. Fox News' Dave Kinchin with a closer look.
Tensions boiling over at times.
To be like an adult.
I am, because you're acting like a child.
Just when we think this district couldn't get any worse, you prove us wrong.
Parents and community members ripping into the L'Anse Creuse Board of Education. They want to know why district officials did not speak up sooner once 16-year-old Ryan Senegal of Roseville, a student at L'Anse Creuse High School North, was arrested in the building in connection to the shooting death of a teen in Detroit more than a year ago.
You and other school staff had to know Ryan Senegal was being investigated.
I should not have been watching the news, and my kid walking into the home saying, hey, did you know that there was a murderer at our school?
Senegal was charged with first-degree murder, 2 counts of assault with intent to murder, and 3 counts of felony firearm not long after his arrest on school property. This 14 months after Detroit police say they found the victim suffering from multiple gunshot wounds in a heavily damaged car on Mack Avenue near Bedford on Detroit's east side. That's near Grosse Pointe. Police say Senegal pulled a gun and fired multiple times into the car, fatally wounding the 17-year-old before taking off. He was not arrested until April 1st of this year.
How did this student become enrolled in our school district? What steps we're taking and when were concerns first surfaced?
Superintendent Keith Howell reading a prepared statement.
While there are legal limits and privacy restrictions on what we can share about the student, we can speak about the decisions that were made and how we are responding now.
Even other district officials piling on in the demand for answers.
It's me sending countless emails and phone calls with you, and yet we're not going to address the accountability of how he got here.
Complicating matters, the superintendent says in June of 24, police detained and questioned the student as a person of interest in a criminal probe, saying at the time neither the central office nor school staff were fully informed of the investigation. The student was then released without any charges filed and went back to school in the fall per district guidelines.
I initiated a full review of how this matter was handled, from the student's initial enrollment to how decisions were made as new information was available.
Senegal was on the football program too, at one point named Varsity Crusader of the Week. Coaches around the program and parents said in the meeting they noticed anger issues but never imagined anything like this. In Clinton Township, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Well, a 19-year-old suspect is waiting to find out if he'll be heading to trial for one of Detroit's worst mass shootings ever.
2 people died, 19 others were wounded when shots rang out during an illegal block party on the city's east side last summer. Dimitri Shaw facing more than 30 charges related to the shooting on Rossini Drive. His attorney is raising questions about an hours-long police interrogation and pushing for the judge to throw out the evidence.
I would argue that that break that was taken is clearly a break that separates these 2 interrogations. I took some position to one statement that she stated, and she stated that the police have the right to lie to defendants when they're interrogating them.
Meanwhile, Wayne County prosecutors argued the suspect admitted that he played a role. Officers allegedly asked him if the shooting was in retaliation for his friend getting shot, and he said yes.
A man is now charged, accused in a deadly crash last Friday night on Detroit's west side. Anna G. Moore was in court this afternoon facing several charges, including second-degree murder. Police say they pulled Moore over Friday night for improper plates. Moore allegedly sped off before colliding with another driver on Puritan. That driver was ejected from their vehicle and was killed. Police say Moore tried to run from the scene, but was captured.
It was really bad, all over my head. It was what they were hitting me the most, and my back, because I was on the floor, just tried to save myself.
St. Clair Shores restaurant owner speaking out after he comes under attack. The security video shows him being beaten by two men. He says a DoorDash driver and another man attacked him Saturday night at Amigos Street Tacos. The owner says they got into an argument over the restroom. The driver's been arrested. The other suspect is still on the loose.
It turned into almost kids losing their life if we didn't get out in time. Everything I built down the drain.
A 17-year-old boy is in custody accused of sparking a house fire in Mount Clemens. It happened last Thursday. Michelle Wilson says she and her family barely got out when fireworks were used to set the house on fire. Two 9-month-old babies and a newborn were in that home. The teen is being held at that juvenile detention center waiting to face a judge later this week. Prosecutors are still deciding whether to charge the teen as an adult.
Talking about potentially having an impact on their entire future. Unfortunately, sometimes you almost have to impact their entire future depending on the severity of the crime, and this was pretty severe. These were young children, and a mother doesn't need to go through that, especially when she's already on tough times.
A GoFundMe has been created to help the family find a new home. You'll find a link on our website, fox2detroit.com. Well, after a back and forth with the city of Detroit, a property owner gets to keep his castle.
He's been building it for years, and now it's off the land bank's hit list. Fox 2's Lauren Edwards explains.
To open this binder to hand to you, Mr. Brooks, that the land bank sent in the paperwork dismissing that lawsuit on this property right here. So I want to thank you, my friend. This is God's plan. Yeah.
Detroit Police Chief Todd Bettison delivering a message Charles Brooks longed to hear. The lawsuit against his property on Chalmers Street is no more.
It's been one of the roughest 2 weeks in my life, but I give great honor today. And this couldn't have happened on a better day. Today we celebrate my deceased son's birthday, his heavenly birthday.
Brooks says he's been working on his property known as the Detroit Castle for years. Even when he suffered a stroke last year and was set back for a while, he still worked on it, cleaning it up and beautifying it, he says. However, things took a turn a few weeks ago. Brooks says he learned that he was being sued by the city for a blighted home and debris on the property.
They have literally taken my home.
The city responded in the comments saying, quote, the land bank has not taken possession of your property. However, the video went viral, getting over 150,000 views, and dozens of people showed up ready to help out and clean up.
We couldn't have did this without a team, and everybody came and unified when they found out that what the devil had meant for evil, God turned it around for good.
This weekend, that team included Chief Bettison.
You say, well, how did you get involved, Chief? But when this went viral, we had so many folks coming over here. This is remarkable. He's actually called the mayor of the East Side.
The chief says he believes the land bank, the attorneys are confident that Brooks will finish the job.
Just want to thank you for not only being the chief of Detroit Police, but you are my brother's keeper.
The family says there's no timetable on when the actual project will be complete, but we also reached out to the land bank requesting an interview or a comment, and we are waiting to hear back. Reporting in Detroit, Lauren Edwards on The Edge.
Well, turning to the weather, we saw a lovely spring day. It was warm outside, but the winds have changed. You can feel them blowing into town.
No doubt. Weather Authority Rich Luterman joining us with a look ahead. Hi, Rich.
Hey there, Amy and Roop. It's pretty quiet out there, but it is cooling off, and I'll show you why. We have this big area of low pressure spinning right over the Great Lakes, and yes, that is some snow in the UP. Parts of the Arrowhead of Minnesota. That's not coming our way, although we could see a couple of wet flakes in the air tomorrow. Notice it's dry for the thumb for Detroit, up around Saginaw, Lansing, Grand Rapids, down to Fort Wayne and Chicago. But notice there are some showers out there in Wisconsin, also west of Chicago, and that's why we could see a stray shower. I'm going to show you what 84 degrees looks like. This is Honolulu, Hawaii right now, and it sure looks nice there. Sunshine, some fair weather cumulus clouds, but 84 has a nice ring to it. Here's our daytime highs. 73 here, 75 as far north as Port Huron. Certainly cooler up around the bridge. Sheboygan, Michigan, topping out today. 59 degrees. Here are the numbers at the airport. Metro Airport, 73 and 48. A good 13, 14 degrees above where we should be, but it is cooling off, and this cooler trend is going to last right into Wednesday and Wednesday night. 51 Jackson right now, 56 Mount Clemens, 52s for Windsor and for Monroe. It has been breezy today, and it's going to be a cooler breeze tomorrow from the west and northwest. In fact, it's still a bit gusty out there as we speak, but notice the colder air is certainly off to our north. 32 in Marquette right now, 34 in Thunder Bay, 54 in Chicago, down in Pittsburgh, 67 degrees. There's that cold front. That's going to move east. It is going to open the floodgates for a cooler stretch, but high pressure builds in, bringing sunshine starting Wednesday, lasting into Thursday. You'll see it coming up in the 7-day. Breezy and cooler for the rest of tonight, down to 42. Perhaps a shower in spots late tonight and again tomorrow, but a high of only 49. It's going to feel a lot colder around here for your Tuesday. Notice we're moving back in the right direction by Thursday. The next round of active weather could be Friday evening into Friday night. And how about Easter Sunday looking dry at 57? Rupe and Amy, a full check at 4 a.m.
Thank you, Rich. On Lake St. Clair, a double take for several homeowners when they spot deer swimming in the icy waters.
People sprang into action, as you see there on that screen, to rescue the struggling animals. Fox 2's Dave Spencer has this story.
And I heard some splashing and grunting, and yeah, I look into the water and I see 2-3 deer splashing and, you know, shivering, cold. They were hurting, and then I saw another 2 more deer. There was 5 total. That ain't no fish.
This sight on a Saturday afternoon in New Baltimore was attracting all kinds of attention.
Here we are at Margaret's. There's deer swimming.
Now, it's not unusual to see deer running through the backyards in this New Baltimore sub. What is unusual, however, is to see those deer in Lake St. Clair actually swimming in the water, or rather struggling. And take a look at how tall this seawall is, meaning that these deer that are swimming, there's no way they're going to get out on their own. As a crowd started to gather, it became clear they needed help, and fast.
It was a life, and it was pitiful.
Yeah, I tried to get in one of these kayaks over here, and then when we had a rope that we threw out.
Working together, they managed to get the deer out of the water. No easy task at all. Do you have any guess at how much they weighed?
Easy 145, 150.
One they pulled out here alive. 2 they pulled out down there. One smaller one was deceased.
The other 2 deer kept swimming. As for the 2 that survived,
We just kind of gave it space, just so, you know, it can get back up. And it took about like 2 hours for it to get going again.
It's unclear how long the deer had been in the water prior to the rescue, but according to one Detroit animal rescue, the efforts of this community most certainly saved the lives of those 2 deer. In New Baltimore, Dave Spencer on The Edge.